Audio Jungle.
9-year-old among 3 shot, 1 fatal in Cockburn Pen. A man was killed and 2 others injured, including a 9-year-old in a gun attack in Cockburn Pen, St. Andrew on Sunday night. Dead is 52-year-old Uriel Thompson of York Avenue in the area. The incident occurred about 9 p.m. at a premises along the York Avenue. The Hunts Bay police are investigating. The St. Andrew South Police Division has recorded the most homicides since the start of the year. As at October 4, the division has seen 61 murders. The national murder toll is now 522. Falmouth man missing, family hoping for the best. 77-year-old Hamden Estate distillery worker Dennis has mysteriously disappeared. He has not been seen since he left his home in Falmouth for work on Monday, September 22nd, leaving his family deeply worried but still holding out on hope for his safe return. His wife, Rosalind, says that despite 2 long weeks that has passed and numerous unsuccessful searches, she refused to give up hope. "We don't know what happened, but we're still keeping the faith," the distressed wife, a devoted Seventh-day Adventist Christian, said during a telephone interview on Monday. "He has gone missing from the 22nd. This is the 3rd Monday," she added. Last Wednesday, more than 50 people, including members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, Jamaica Defence Force, JDF, and area residents, came together to comb dense sections of the Wakefield area and nearby communities. According to police, K9 units, drones, and military equipment were deployed during the extensive search. "We went down into the bushes searching for hours, but we still have not located him or any signs of anybody," Deputy Superintendent of Police Peter Saki said, noting that the operation began around 9 a.m. and continued until 2 p.m. He added that investigations are still ongoing and that the search will continue as efforts intensify to locate the missing man. On Monday, his distraught wife recounted the last time she saw him. She told reporters that on Sunday, September 22nd, when her husband came home from work, he said he would have to leave early the next morning to relieve his partner. She said the following morning, about 8 a.m. and 9 a.m., she went onto an errand into the town of Falmouth, leaving her husband making his usual juice. When she returned shortly before 11, he was gone, and she assumed he left for work. "By a few minutes to 6 p.m., I was expecting him home," she said, noting that he and his co-workers usually leave each other early from 2 to 10 shift. 2 minutes after 6, one of his friends called and asked if Dennis was home. I said no. He left for work this morning," she added. The friend reportedly told her that someone said Dennis never reached work. He later contacted the co-worker Dennis was supposed to relieve, who said he had called Dennis after 11, and Dennis answered saying, "Boy, you know, say me last in a tinsel bush, me soon come." Later that evening, another call came from his co-worker, who said Dennis still haven't shown up. Since then, there have been no word from him. Area residents searched the bushes shortly after he went missing and turned up with nothing. "When he's in that area, the phone doesn't always pick up," his wife said, "but he always finds a way to call if he's running late. This time nothing," she bemoaned, her voice trailing off. The family and the police are appealing to anyone who may have seen him or has information on his whereabouts to contact the Falmouth Police Station or the nearest police station. Senges. Political commentator Clyde Williams is advising opposition leader Mark Golding to send Zuleika Jess, the People's National Party PNP Justice spokesperson, to meet with Minister of Justice Delroy Chalk for discussions on the next steps in the opposition's collaboration with the Government of Jamaica constitutional reform. Williams told reporters that this is necessary to move forward, as Golding has indicated that he will not meet with Delroy. "I would prefer to hold talks with Prime Minister Dr. Anjo Holness. Since we want to get this thing done, I think what the PNP should do is to accept the meeting with Delroy and then deputize Zuleika Dress to go and represent Golding," he said. "Because if Golding doesn't yield or do something, then we'll have a stalemate." In a letter to Holness dated October 3, 2025, Golding rebuffed the Prime Minister's proposal that he should meet with Delroy, stating that he was expecting an invitation to meet with Holness himself to discuss the way forward as a first step. In his letter, Golding pointed to Holness' speech at his swearing in as Prime Minister, in which Holness said, "Mark, let us partner together to complete the work we started in making Jamaica a republic." Golding said he welcomed those words as they are consistent with the reality that the government does not now have a two-third majority in either House of Parliament, further reinforcing the imperative of partnership between Jamaica's two major political parties if progress is to be made in reforming the constitution. However, he said Horn's proposal that he meet with Delroy will not initiate the required partnership of which we speak. I therefore invite you to reconsider the matter in light of what I'm suggesting in this letter and look forward to hearing from you presently, he stated. Golding said the letter, which was made public, was a response to a September 30 letter from Holness. The letter from Holness was not released. In February this year, the opposition paused its participation in the Constitutional Reform Committee, citing a lack of clarity from the government on the issue of Jamaica's final appellate court. The issue of leaving the Privy Council has been a contentious one between both major political parties. The government has proposed delaying the issue until a later phase of the constitutional reform, but the opposition insists it must be done in the first phase, in tandem with removing the King of England as Jamaica's head of state. The opposition is also in favor of Jamaica joining the Caribbean Court of Justice's appellate jurisdiction, while Holness has said he would prefer a Jamaican final court and for Jamaicans to have the final say on the matter through a referendum. While sharing that he understands Golding's stipulation to meet with the Prime Minister, Williams pointed out that he expects further meetings with the leadership of the two main political parties to take place as the reform process advances. This constitutional change is going to be a long process, and since the JLP no longer has two-thirds in the lower house, everything is going to have to be done by agreement, he stated. Meanwhile, emphasizing the far-reaching economic, socio-cultural, and political implications of the constitutional reform for all Jamaicans, political analyst Damon Garden stressed that genuine bipartisanship support and multi-stakeholders engagement are necessary to ensure the success of the process. To this end, he said the leadership of the government and parliamentary opposition ought to set the tone in terms of articulating the vision, framing of key debates, our goal and legitimizing the process to achieve consensus on key matters. So even if not consistently, the Prime Minister and opposition leader must engage directly with other key stakeholders in joint forums or spaces to actively show their commitment to the task at hand. This is what we call leading at the forefront, he stated. Fraud trial against Will Reid, Fitzpinnock, and Quack's pushed back to today. The long-awaited multi-million-dollar fraud case against former Education Minister Will Reid and his co-accused, which was slated to begin yesterday, will now commence today in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court. One witness is expected to take the stand, likely in the afternoon, following preliminary submissions from both the prosecution and the defense. Presiding Court Judge Justice Von Facey was absent when the matter was called up. As a result, Justice Leighton Morris heard the matter and bounced over the witnesses and extended bail for the accused. Rell, along with his wife and daughter, was arrested and charged in 2019. Also charged are Jamaica Labour Party councillor Kimbron Lawrence and former Caribbean Maritime University CMU president Professor Fitzpinnock. After leaving court, Reid tried to avoid being photographed and shouted, "Third term," while flashing the finger symbol of the ruling Jamaica Labour Party. He also used his jacket to cover his face. Reid and his co-accused were implicated in an alleged fraudulent scheme that allegedly spared more than $50 million from the government-run program intended to support at-risk youth. 77-year-old among three detained after gunfight in Banana Grong. A 77-year-old woman was among three people taken into custody on Monday during a police operation in Banana Grove, Manchester, where a firearm was seized at the house. The other two people who police have identified as suspects are ages 35 and 29. Police said the three people have been detained in relation to the offences of possession of prohibited weapon and unauthorized possession of ammunition. Police said two of the suspects have addressed in Canada and Banana Grove. A police report said around 6:30 a.m., a joint police-military team went to the house in Banana Ground, where the target of the operation was seen attempting to leave the premises. He was accosted and brought to the house, where the 77-year-old woman, identified as his mother, opened the door. Police said a search warrant was presented, and during the search of the house, a Browning pistol with a serial number fitted with a magazine containing 9.9mm rounds of ammunition was found in a knapsack under a bed. The man, his mother, and spouse were subsequently taken into police custody. To subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.